The morning sun painted golden streaks across the small wooden house in Basse-Terre, the capital of Saint Kitts and Nevis. 8-year-old Maya Thompson sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, surrounded by colored pencils, crayons, and sheets of paper covered in vibrant drawings. Her dark curls bounced as she leaned forward, carefully adding the final touches to her latest masterpiece. "Maya, breakfast is ready," called her grandmother from the kitchen. The smell of fried plantains and salt fish drifted through the house, but Maya was too absorbed in her artwork to notice her rumbling stomach. She held up the drawing, examining it with the critical eye of a young artist. The picture showed a beautiful island scene with crystal blue waters, swaying palm trees, and children of different colors playing together on a pristine beach. In the corner, she had written in her careful handwriting, "My island home, where everyone is welcome." Maya had always been different from other children her age. While her classmates spent their free time playing with dolls or kicking footballs in the dusty streets, she preferred to sit quietly and draw. Her grandmother, whom everyone called Nana Rose, often found her granddaughter sketching the fishing boats in the harbor, the colorful houses that dotted the hillsides, or the tourists who visited their small island nation. "That child has magic in her fingers," Nana Rose would tell her neighbors. "She sees the world differently than the rest of us." Maya's parents had died in a car accident when she was just 3 years old. Since then, Nana Rose had raised her single-handedly, working long hours as a seamstress to make ends meet. Despite their modest circumstances, she always made sure Maya had art supplies, even if it meant buying the cheapest brands or saving up for weeks. Nana Rose believed in nurturing her granddaughter's gift. The old woman appeared in the doorway, wiping her hands on her apron. Her weathered face broke into a warm smile when she saw Maya's latest creation. "Another beautiful picture, my dear. What inspired this one?" Maya looked up with bright, eager eyes. "I dreamed about it, Nana. I dreamed that important people came to our island, and I showed them how beautiful it really is. Not just the beaches and hotels that tourists see, but the real beauty, the people, the kindness, the way we help each other." Nana Rose sat down beside her granddaughter, her knees creaking slightly. She studied the drawing with genuine interest. Maya had an incredible talent for capturing not just what things looked like, but what they felt like. The children in her drawing weren't just playing. They radiated joy and friendship. The palm trees seemed to dance in an invisible breeze, and the water looked so real you could almost hear the waves. "You know, Maya," Nana Rose said softly, "sometimes dreams have a way of coming true when we least expect it." Maya tilted her head, curious. "What do you mean, Nana?" "Well, I heard some interesting news at the market yesterday. Mrs. Patterson from the government office was telling everyone that some very important visitors might be coming to our island soon. Royal visitors from England." Maya's eyes widened. She had learned about the British royal family in school. Saint Kitts and Nevis had once been a British colony, and even though they were now independent, they still had connections to the royal family. "Really? Like princes and princesses?" "Maybe," Nana Rose said with a twinkle in her eye. Mrs. Patterson said they might be coming to see some of the local projects, to meet with children and families. She mentioned they might visit schools and community centers. Maya's heart began to race with excitement. An idea was forming in her mind, wild and impossible, but growing stronger by the second. "Nana, do you think if they came, I could show them my drawings?" Nana Rose smiled and stroked Maya's curls. "My dear child, you can dream as big as you want. Who knows what might happen?" That afternoon, Maya sat on the front porch with her drawing pad, but for once, she wasn't drawing. Instead, she was thinking. She thought about the stories Nana Rose had told her about important visitors who had come to the island over the years. She thought about the drawings she had made of her home, her people, her dreams for the future. As the sun began to set over the Caribbean Sea, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks, Maya made a decision. If royal visitors really were coming to St. Kitts and Nevis, she would find a way to meet them. She would show them her island through her eyes, through her art. She didn't know how she would do it, but she was determined to try. That night, as Nana Rose tucked her into bed, Maya whispered. Nana, I'm going to draw something very special. Something that shows how much I love our island. I know you will, sweetheart, Nana Rose replied, kissing her forehead. You always do. But Maya was already planning something bigger than just another drawing. She was planning to create something that would change her life forever, though she didn't know it yet. As she drifted off to sleep, she dreamed of royal visitors, of presenting her art to someone who could help share her island story with the world. The trade winds rustled through the palm trees outside her window, carrying with them the promise of adventures to come. In her dreams, Maya saw herself standing before a kind-faced man with reddish hair, holding out her drawing with pride and hope shining in her young eyes. Little did she know that sometimes the most impossible dreams are the ones most likely to come true. 3 weeks later, the entire island buzzed with excitement. The news had been confirmed. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, would indeed be visiting Saint Kitts and Nevis as part of his tour of the Caribbean. The local newspapers were full of stories about the upcoming visit, and everyone seemed to have an opinion about what it would mean for their small nation. Maya had read every article, studied every photograph of the prince that appeared in the papers. She learned that he was known for his work with children, his military service, and his informal, friendly approach to royal duties. Most importantly, she discovered that he genuinely seemed to care about the places he visited and the people he met. At school, Maya's teacher, Miss Catherine Williams, had noticed her students' intense interest in the royal visit. Miss Williams was a young woman who had recently returned to St. Kitts after studying in London. She had always recognized Maya's artistic talent and had tried to encourage it whenever possible. Maya, Miss Williams said after class one day, I've seen how excited you are about Prince Harry's visit. Have you thought about entering the art competition? Maya looked confused. What art competition? Miss Williams smiled. The government has announced a special art competition for children. They want local young people to create artwork that represents what St. Kitts and Nevis means to them. The winning entries will be displayed during the prince's visit, and the winners might even get to meet him personally. Maya's heart skipped a beat. This was exactly the opportunity she had been hoping for, even though she hadn't dared to believe such a thing could happen. When is the deadline? What do we have to do? The deadline is next Friday, Miss Williams explained. You need to create an original piece of art. It could be a drawing, painting, or even a mixed media collage. It should show something special about our islands, our culture, or our people. Are you interested? Yes, Maya practically shouted, then caught herself and lowered her voice. Yes, I would very much like to enter. That evening, Maya walked home from school in a daze. Her mind was racing with possibilities. She had so many drawings already, but none of them seemed quite right for such an important competition. This needed to be something special, something that would truly capture the essence of her beloved island home. As she turned the corner toward her house, she nearly collided with Mr. James, an elderly fisherman who had known her parents. He was carrying a large basket of fresh fish, and his weathered face was creased with worry. Oh, excuse me, Mr. James, Maya said quickly. Are you all right? The old man smiled sadly. I'm fine, child. Just thinking about the changes coming to our island. All this talk about the royal visit, about development and tourism. Sometimes I wonder if we're losing sight of who we really are. Maya tilted her head, curious. What do you mean? Mr. James set down his basket and looked out toward the harbor. Well, everyone's so focused on showing the prince our beautiful beaches and fancy hotels. But that's not what makes St. Kitts special, is it? It's not the tourist attractions that make this place magical. Then what does? Maya asked, genuinely interested. It's the people, Maya. It's the way Mrs. Patterson always makes extra dinner for the elderly man who lives alone next door. It's how young David helps his grandmother to church every Sunday, even though his friends tease him. It's the way the whole community came together when the hurricane damaged the school last year. It's the music that flows from every window on Saturday nights, and the way strangers become friends over a shared meal. Maya listened intently, her artist's mind already beginning to visualize what Mr. James was describing. You mean the Real St. Kitts is about how we treat each other? Exactly, Mr. James said, his face brightening. We're not just a pretty postcard, child. We're a family, a community, a place where people matter more than things. As Maya continued home, Mr. James's words echoed in her mind. She thought about all the drawings she had made over the years, the fishing boats, the colorful houses, the tourists on the beach. But had she ever really captured what Mr. James was talking about? Had she ever drawn the real heart of her island? That night, after dinner, Maya sat at the small table in the living room with a fresh sheet of paper in front of her. Nana Rose was mending clothes nearby, humming an old Caribbean folk song. The sound was comforting and familiar, and it sparked an idea in Maya's mind. She began to draw, but this time, instead of focusing on the physical beauty of Saint Kitts, she tried to capture its soul. She drew a circle of people of all ages, holding hands around a large mango tree. She included faces she knew. Mr. James with his kind eyes, Miss Williams with her encouraging smile, Mrs. Patterson with her generous spirit, Nana Rose with her loving hands. But she didn't stop there. Maya added details that told stories. A young boy helping an elderly woman carry her groceries, children of different backgrounds playing together, neighbors sharing fruit from their gardens, a community working together to rebuild after a storm. In the background, she sketched the familiar landmarks of her island. The Brimstone Hill Fortress, the lush green mountains, the crystal clear waters. But these weren't the focus of the drawing. They were simply the setting for the real treasure of Saint Kitts and Nevis, its people and their connections to each other. As she worked, Maya felt something she had never experienced before while drawing. It was as if she was pouring her entire heart onto the paper, expressing not just what she saw, but what she felt about her home. Every line seemed to carry meaning. Every color choice felt significant. "That's beautiful, Maya," Nana Rose said, looking over her granddaughter's shoulder. "But it's different from your other drawings. What inspired this one?" Maya paused, considering how to explain. "I want to show Prince Harry what St. Kitts and Nevis really is, Nana. Not just what it looks like, but what it feels like to live here, to be part of this community." Nana Rose smiled and placed a gentle hand on Maya's shoulder. "I think you're capturing something very important, my dear. Something that many adults forget to notice." Maya worked late into the evening, adding small details that told bigger stories. She drew hands reaching out to help, eyes that sparkled with kindness, and smiles that spoke of genuine happiness. When she finally finished, she sat back and looked at her creation. The drawing wasn't just a picture, it was a love letter to her island and its people. It showed that true beauty wasn't found in perfect beaches or luxurious resorts, but in the everyday acts of kindness and community that made St. Kitts and Nevis special. As she prepared for bed, Maya felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Tomorrow, she would take her drawing to school and submit it to the competition. She had no idea if it was good enough to win, but she knew she had created something honest and true. "Nana," she said as she brushed her teeth, "do you really think I might get to meet Prince Harry?" Nana Rose smiled. "I think, my dear, that you've already accomplished something wonderful, regardless of what happens next. You've learned to see with your heart as well as your eyes." Maya nodded, not fully understanding what her grandmother meant, but sensing that something important had shifted inside her. She was no longer just a little girl who liked to draw. She was an artist with something meaningful to say. The week following Maya's submission of her artwork passed in a blur of anticipation and nervous energy. Every day, she would ask Miss Williams if there was any news about the competition results, and every day, her teacher would smile patiently and remind her that these things took time. On Friday afternoon, as Maya was gathering her books to go home, Miss Williams called her name. "Maya, could you stay for a moment? I have something to tell you." Maya's heart began to pound. She could tell from her teacher's expression that this was important news, but she couldn't read whether it was good or bad. She approached Miss Williams's desk slowly, clutching her backpack straps tightly. "I received a call from the Ministry of Education this afternoon," Miss Williams began, and Maya held her breath. Your artwork has been selected as one of the winning entries in the competition. Maya felt her knees go weak. Really? Are you sure? Miss Williams laughed. I'm very sure. Not only that, but your piece has been chosen to be presented directly to Prince Harry during his visit to the Children's Community Center next Thursday. You've been invited to meet him personally. The words didn't seem real. Maya stared at her teacher, trying to process what she was hearing. I'm going to meet Prince Harry? Really and truly. Really and truly, Miss Williams confirmed. There will be a small ceremony where 5 young artists will present their work to the prince. You'll be representing not just our school, but our entire community. Maya felt tears prick her eyes, but they were tears of joy and excitement rather than sadness. All the hours she had spent drawing, all the time she had dreamed of sharing her art with someone important, all the hopes she had carried in her heart, they were finally coming true. When she arrived home that evening, she found Nana Rose sitting on the front porch, shelling peas for dinner. Maya ran up the steps, her face glowing with excitement. Nana, I won. My drawing won the competition. I'm going to meet Prince Harry. Nana Rose looked up from her peas, her face breaking into the biggest smile Maya had ever seen. She stood up carefully and opened her arms wide. Come here, my precious girl. Maya flew into her grandmother's embrace, and for a long moment, they just held each other. Nana Rose's eyes were wet with tears of pride and joy. I'm so proud of you, Maya, she whispered. Your parents would be so proud, too. That evening, word of Maya's achievement spread through their small community like wildfire. Neighbors stopped by to congratulate her, bringing small gifts and sharing in the family's joy. Mr. James brought a beautiful conch shell from a beach. Mrs. Patterson arrived with a homemade coconut cake. Even the usually serious postman, Mr. Williams, made a special trip to deliver a congratulations card that the entire post office staff had signed. As Maya sat surrounded by friends and neighbors, she realized that this moment was almost as special as meeting the prince would be. This was what she had tried to capture in her drawing. The way her community came together to celebrate each other's successes, the way joy was shared and multiplied when it was experienced together. But as the excitement began to settle, Maya started to feel nervous. What would she wear to meet Prince Harry? What would she say to him? What if she was too scared to speak? What if he didn't like her drawing after all? Sensing her granddaughter's growing anxiety, Nana Rose suggested they take a walk on the beach to watch the sunset. As they walked hand in hand along the shore, the warm sand between their toes and the gentle sound of waves providing a peaceful soundtrack, Maya shared her worries. What if I mess up, Nana? What if I say something wrong or trip and fall? What if Prince Harry thinks my drawing is silly? Nana Rose stopped walking and turned to face her granddaughter. The setting sun painted everything in golden light, and her weathered face looked wise and kind. Maya, my dear, let me tell you something important. That drawing of yours, it's not just a picture. It's a piece of your heart, a story about who you are and what you love. When you show it to Prince Harry, you're not just showing him your art. You're sharing your truth. Maya listened carefully as her grandmother continued. The most powerful thing about art is that it speaks without words. Your drawing will tell Prince Harry more about our island and our people than any speech or presentation could. It will show him that a young girl from Saint Kitts and Nevis sees the beauty in kindness, the magic in community, and the importance of taking care of each other. But what if he doesn't understand what I was trying to show? Maya asked. Then you'll explain it to him, Nana Rose said simply. You'll tell him about Mr. James and his wisdom, about Miss Williams and her encouragement about our neighbors who came to celebrate with us tonight. You'll help him see our island through your eyes. As they walked back toward home, Maya felt some of her nervousness transform into excitement. She began to think about what she would say to Prince Harry, how she would explain the meaning behind her drawing. That night, she lay in bed practicing her presentation in her mind. She imagined herself standing confidently, holding her artwork, and speaking clearly about what Saint Kitts and Nevis meant to her. She pictured Prince Harry listening intently, asking questions, and understanding the message she had tried to convey. Over the weekend, the entire community seemed to be preparing for the royal visit. Shop windows were decorated with flags and flowers. The community center where Maya would meet the prince was cleaned and polished until it gleamed. Children practiced songs and dances they would perform. Maya spent Saturday morning choosing what to wear for the big day. She didn't have many fancy clothes, but Nana Rose helped her select a simple white dress that belonged to her mother. It was a little big, but Nana Rose altered it carefully, adding small touches that made it special. "Your mother wore this dress to her school graduation," Nana Rose explained as she hemmed the skirt. "She would be so happy to know you are wearing it for such an important occasion." On Sunday, Maya attended church with Nana Rose, and the entire congregation offered prayers for her success. Pastor Williams gave a special blessing, asking that Maya's presentation would touch Prince Harry's heart and show him the true spirit of their island nation. As the week progressed, Maya found herself growing more confident and excited rather than nervous. She practiced her presentation with Miss Williams, who helped her organize her thoughts and speak clearly. She rehearsed with Nana Rose, who listened patiently and offered gentle suggestions. By Wednesday evening, Maya felt ready. She had her drawing carefully protected in a special folder that Miss Williams had provided. She had practiced her presentation until she could deliver it smoothly and naturally. Most importantly, she had thought deeply about what she wanted Prince Harry to understand about her home. As she went to sleep on Wednesday night, Maya felt a sense of calm purpose. Tomorrow would be the biggest day of her young life, but she was prepared. She had something important to share, and she was going to make the most of this incredible opportunity. The trade winds whispered through her window, carrying the familiar scents of the Caribbean Sea and tropical flowers. In just a few hours, she would meet a real prince and share her vision of paradise with someone who could help others understand what made Saint Kitts and Nevis truly special. Her dreams that night were filled with images of her artwork coming to life. The people in her drawing stepping off the paper, the community circle expanding to include new friends from around the world, and her small island home becoming a symbol of what was possible when people chose to see the best in each other. Thursday morning dawned bright and clear, with the kind of perfect Caribbean weather that made Saint Kitts and Nevis look like a postcard. Maya woke up before her alarm clock, her stomach fluttering with a mixture of excitement and nervousness that felt like 1,000 butterflies dancing inside her. She found Nana Rose already in the kitchen, preparing a special breakfast of fresh fruit, homemade bread, and hot chocolate made with real cocoa beans. The familiar sounds and smells of home helped calm Maya's nerves as she sat down to eat. "How are you feeling, my dear?" Nana Rose asked, settling into the chair across from her granddaughter. "Like I'm about to explode with excitement," Maya admitted, taking a sip of the rich hot chocolate. "But also scared that I'll forget everything I want to say." Nana Rose reached across the small table and took Maya's hand in her weathered ones. "Listen to me carefully. You don't need to remember every word you've practiced. All you need to do is speak from your heart about something you love. And you love this island and its people more than anything in the world." After breakfast, Maya carefully put on her mother's white dress, which fit perfectly after Nana Rose's alterations. She braided her hair with small white flowers that Nana Rose had picked from their garden that morning. When she looked in the mirror, she saw a young girl who looked confident and ready for anything. Miss Williams arrived at 9 o'clock to escort Maya to the community center. The teacher was wearing her best dress and had a nervous but proud smile on her face. "Are you ready for this adventure, Maya?" "I think so," Maya replied, carefully checking that her drawing was secure in its protective folder. She had looked at it one more time that morning, and it still filled her with pride. The circle of people holding hands around the mango tree seemed to glow with warmth and love, exactly as she had intended. The drive to the community center took only 10 minutes, but it felt like both an eternity and no time at all. Maya watched the familiar sights of her island flash by. The colorful houses climbing up the hillsides, the fishing boats bobbing in the harbor, the palm trees swaying in the gentle breeze. Everything looked the same as always, but somehow felt different because of what this day represented. When they arrived at the community center, Maya was surprised by the level of activity. There were security personnel in dark suits, talking into small radios, government officials in formal attire checking and rechecking arrangements, and media representatives setting up cameras and equipment. The whole scene felt surreal, like something from a movie rather than real life in her small island community. Maya was greeted by Mrs. Margaret Thompson, a kind woman from the Ministry of Education who had been coordinating the children's presentation. She led Maya and Miss Williams to a small room where the other 4 young winners were waiting with their families and teachers. Maya was relieved to see that the other children looked just as nervous and excited as she felt. There was 10-year-old Marcus, who had created a sculpture from driftwood and shells that represented the island's connection to the sea. 12-year-old Sophia had written and illustrated a book of poems about Caribbean wildlife. 8-year-old twins Emma and Ethan had collaborated on a colorful mural showing the history of Saint Kitts and Nevis from the indigenous peoples through independence. As the children introduced themselves and shared their artwork with each other, Maya felt a sense of camaraderie developing. They were all young artists who had found their own unique ways to express their love for their island home. Despite their different approaches and styles, they all shared the same deep connection to Saint Kitts and Nevis. Mrs. Thompson explained how the presentation would work. Prince Harry would spend about 30 minutes with the group, and each child would have 5 or 6 minutes to present their artwork and explain its meaning. He would then have time for informal conversation and photographs before moving on to the next part of his itinerary. Remember, Mrs. Thompson said kindly, Prince Harry is known for being very relaxed and informal. He genuinely enjoys meeting young people and hearing their stories. Don't worry about perfect manners or formal language. Just be yourselves. At exactly 11:30, there was a commotion in the hallway outside their waiting room. Maya heard the sounds of footsteps, quiet conversation, and what she assumed were security protocols being implemented. Her heart began to race as she realized that Prince Harry had arrived at the building. A few minutes later, Mrs. Thompson returned with a warm smile. Children, it's time. Prince Harry is ready to meet you. The 5 young artists lined up, each carrying their precious artwork. Maya found herself in the middle of the group, which somehow felt perfect. Not too early to be nervous for too long, but not so late that she would have to wait and worry while the others presented. As they walked down the hallway toward the main room of the community center, Maya could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. This was really happening. In just a few moments, she would be face to face with a real prince, sharing her art and her dreams with someone who could help amplify her message to the world. The double doors to the main room opened, and Maya got her first glimpse of Prince Harry. He was shorter than she had expected, and more relaxed than the formal photographs she had seen in newspapers. He was wearing khaki pants and a light blue shirt, and he was smiling warmly as he chatted with some of the community center staff. When he saw the children approaching, his face lit up with genuine enthusiasm. And here are our young artists, he said, his voice carrying a slight British accent, but sounding friendly and approachable. I've been looking forward to meeting you all and seeing your wonderful creations. Maya felt some of her nervousness melt away. This wasn't a stern, intimidating royal figure. This was someone who seemed genuinely excited to be there, genuinely interested in what they had to share. The presentations began with Marcus and his driftwood sculpture. As Maya watched him explain his artwork with growing confidence, she felt inspired by his passion and clarity. Each of the young artists brought something unique and meaningful to share, and Prince Harry listened to each one with complete attention, asking thoughtful questions and making encouraging comments. When Sophia finished presenting her poetry book, Mrs. Thompson turned to Maya. Prince Harry, I'd like you to meet Maya Thompson. Maya is 8 years old, and she's created a very special drawing that shows her vision of what makes Saint Kitts and Nevis truly special? Prince Harry turned to face Maya directly, his warm brown eyes meeting hers with genuine interest. Hello, Maya. I'm very pleased to meet you. I understand you have something wonderful to show me. Maya felt a moment of pure clarity. All her nervousness disappeared, replaced by excitement about sharing something she loved with someone who cared enough to listen. She took a deep breath, smiled, and stepped forward with her precious drawing, ready to tell Prince Harry about the real magic of her island home. Your Royal Highness, she began, her voice clear and confident, I drew this picture to show you what Saint Kitts and Nevis looks like through the eyes of someone who lives here, not someone who's just visiting. As she began to unfold her drawing, Maya felt the same sense of purpose and pride that had guided her when she was creating it. This was her moment to share her truth, her vision, her love for her community with someone who could help others understand what made her island home so special. Maya carefully unfolded her drawing and held it up so Prince Harry could see it clearly. The room seemed to grow quiet as everyone focused on the artwork that had captured the heart of a young girl's vision of her homeland. Prince Harry studied the drawing for a long moment, his expression growing more interested and thoughtful as he took in the details. Maya watched his eyes move across the paper, following the circle of people holding hands around the mango tree, noticing the small scenes of community kindness she had included around the borders. This is remarkable, Maya, he said finally, his voice carrying genuine appreciation. Tell me about what you've drawn here. Maya felt a surge of confidence. This was the moment she had been preparing for, and she knew exactly what she wanted to say. Your Royal Highness, most people think Saint Kitts and Nevis is beautiful because of our beaches and mountains and clear water. And those things are beautiful. But I wanted to show you the real reason our island is special. It's because of how we treat each other. She pointed to different parts of her drawing as she spoke. This is Mr. James, who taught me that being a community means caring about your neighbors. This is my teacher, Miss Williams, who believes in young people even when they don't believe in themselves. This is Mrs. Patterson, who always makes sure elderly people have enough to eat. And this is my Nana Rose, who raised me and taught me to see beauty everywhere. Prince Harry leaned in closer, studying the individual faces Maya had drawn. You've captured such distinct personalities in each face. And this scene here, what's happening? Maya smiled, pointing to a corner of the drawing where she had depicted children helping to rebuild after a storm. That's from when Hurricane Martha damaged our school last year. Instead of waiting for the government to fix everything, the whole community came together. Even us kids helped by bringing tools to the adults and making sandwiches for everyone who was working. And what about this beautiful tree in the center? Prince Harry asked. That's a mango tree that grows behind my school. It's where we all gather when something important is happening. Good news or bad news, celebrations or problems. It's like the heart of our community. When you sit under that tree, you know you belong somewhere. Prince Harry was quiet for another moment, continuing to study the artwork. Maya could see that he was truly absorbing what she had created, not just looking politely because it was his royal duty. Maya, he said finally, this drawing tells me more about Saint Kitts and Nevis than any tourism brochure ever could. You've shown me that the real treasure of this island isn't what visitors can see on a postcard. It's the spirit of the people who call it home. Maya felt her heart swell with pride and happiness. He understood. He really understood what she had been trying to communicate. Your Royal Highness, Maya continued, feeling emboldened by his positive response. I hope when you tell people about your visit here, you'll tell them about more than just our pretty beaches. I hope you'll tell them about communities like ours, where people still know how to take care of each other. Prince Harry smiled warmly. I promise you, Maya, that when I speak about my time in Saint Kitts and Nevis, I will absolutely include what I've learned from you today. You've reminded me of something very important, that the most beautiful places in the world are beautiful because of the kindness of their people. He paused and looked around the room, which had been completely silent during their conversation. Everyone, the other children, the teachers, the government officials, even the media representatives, had been captivated by Maya's presentation and the prince's response. "May I ask you something, Maya?" Prince Harry said. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Maya thought for a moment. Before today, she might have said simply an artist, but her conversation with Prince Harry had clarified something important for her. "I want to be someone who helps people understand each other better," she said. "Maybe through art, maybe through other ways. I want to show people that we're all more alike than different, and that every place in the world has its own special kind of beauty if you know how to look for it." Prince Harry's smile grew even wider. "Maya, I think you're already doing that. This drawing, this conversation, you're already helping people see the world differently. Don't ever stop sharing your vision." The formal presentation portion of the visit was drawing to a close, but Prince Harry seemed reluctant to rush away. He spent several more minutes talking with each of the young artists, asking them about their dreams and encouraging them to continue developing their talents. When it was time for photographs, Prince Harry made sure to take a special picture with Maya and her drawing. As they posed together, him kneeling down to her level with the artwork displayed between them, Maya felt like she was living in a dream. "Maya," he said quietly, just for her to hear, "would it be all right if I took a photograph of your drawing to take with me? I'd like to show it to some people who work on community development projects around the world. I think they could learn a lot from your perspective." Maya's eyes widened. "You want to show my drawing to other people?" "Only if you're comfortable with that," Prince Harry assured her. "I think your message about the importance of community and kindness is something the world needs to hear." "Yes," Maya said without hesitation. "Yes, I would be honored if you shared it." As the official visit concluded and Prince Harry prepared to move on to his next engagement, he took a moment to speak privately with Maya one more time. "Thank you, Maya," he said, shaking her small hand with both of his. "You've given me a gift today, a reminder of what really matters. I hope you'll continue creating art that shows people the beauty in everyday kindness." After Prince Harry left, Maya found herself surrounded by congratulations from everyone who had witnessed the presentation. Miss Williams had tears in her eyes as she hugged her student. Mrs. Thompson declared that Maya's presentation had been the highlight of the entire royal visit. The other young artists crowded around to congratulate her and express their admiration for how she had handled the moment. But for Maya, the most meaningful moment came when she returned home that evening and found Nana Rose waiting on the front porch, just as she had been that morning, but now with a look of pure pride and joy on her weathered face. "How did it go, my precious girl?" Nana Rose asked, opening her arms wide. Maya ran into her grandmother's embrace, and, for the first time that day, felt tears of happiness running down her cheeks. "Nana," he understood. He really understood what I was trying to show him. And he's going to tell other people about us, about how special our community is. As they sat together on the porch, watching the sun set over the Caribbean Sea, Maya told Nana Rose every detail of her encounter with Prince Harry. She described his kindness, his genuine interest in her artwork, and his promise to share her message with others. "You know what the best part was?" Maya said as they finished their conversation. "I realized that I don't need to meet famous people or travel to faraway places to make a difference. I can make a difference right here just by seeing the beauty in our everyday life and helping others see it too." Nana Rose smiled and pulled her granddaughter closer. "That's the wisest thing you've ever said, Maya. You've learned something that takes many people a lifetime to understand." In the months that followed, Maya's drawing and her story spread far beyond Saint Kitts and Nevis. Prince Harry kept his promise and shared her artwork and message during speeches about community development and the importance of supporting young voices. Maya received letters from children around the world who had been inspired by her story to look more carefully at the beauty in their own communities. But Maya's life didn't change dramatically. She continued to attend school, help Nana Rose around the house, and spend her free time drawing. The difference was that now she drew with an even greater sense of purpose, knowing that art could be a powerful way to share important truths about the world. Sometimes, when she sat under the mango tree behind her school with her sketch pad, Maya would remember that incredible day when she shared her vision with Prince Harry. But mostly, She focused on the present moment, the laughter of her classmates, the warmth of the Caribbean sun, the love that surrounded her in her small island community. She had learned that the most extraordinary moments often grow from the most ordinary dreams, and that sometimes the most important messages come from the smallest voices. Maya had found her voice that day, and she was determined to use it to keep sharing the beauty she saw in the world around her.